Hi, this is Tanya from Love Buddha Tarot, back with the card of today for the 26th of August 2016. Now, as soon as I picked the deck up this morning to start shuffling, one card just flew out, literally flew out and ended on the floor. What was quite interesting is that there's somebody I follow on tarot, a woman called It's Tarot by Cecilia, and she's spot on. She's always totally spot on within my life, and I got her card this morning, and I actually dreamt of the same card last night. So I thought it could have been that, but it wasn't, but it was very similar. So the card she's got for today is the Five of Cups. The card that flew out today is the Five of Pentacles. But the card that came along with it is the Chariot. So quite an interesting message here with the two of them. But like I say, there's a bit of a strange energy around, I feel. So, sorry, I'll focus on the Five of Pentacles first, and then go on to the Chariot and see how the two of them tie in together. So the Five of Pentacles here, if we have a look, it's quite a bleak card. Within the Morgan Greer deck, which is the deck I'm using here, it's different to the traditional Rider-Waite. In the traditional Rider-Waite, they're walking along in the snow, and I always sort of think of in the bleak midwinter. Now, with this one, like I say, it's not a nice card. There's a feeling of despair there. And what this card always says is when we begin change, it can often cause chaos, confusion, because what happens is the structure that we have had is being dismantled. And this can cause fear to get in, and it can cause a lot of disruption as well. Now, when this happens, and what this card says is that you may be feeling quite lonely at the moment, even abandoned in a way, and a feeling of being on your own and a little bit empty as well, and like a feeling that others can't even understand what I'm going through. This is what I'm getting with this, it's feeling lost, and it's not knowing which way to move to actually resolve this. And like I say, there's a despair here and a little bit of hopelessness. That's it. It's sort of like, God, it's all a mess. Now, like I say, I dreamt about the Five of Cups last night, and that was Cecilia's card, and that is looking at this mess. And this is, I feel, rather than actually looking at what's going on, this is actually going internal and causing the mess within your head and within your psyche as well. What I want to say with this card as well is, like I say, I've mentioned fives are the middle, so it does get better. That's strange that they've just brought that in there. I found this amazing holistic healer. She's magic, and I had a session with her last night. And as she was working on me, she said, "I can see where you're going," and she was talking about this. And then she turned around and she went, "I can also see where you've been as well," and I know why you're wanting to go that way. So it was quite funny. And this reminds me of, like I say, the fives, it's like, yeah, we've endured this to get to there, but there is so much more ahead as well. So this card is saying, please don't give up hope as well, because things can only get better, I mean, change only comes when it's necessary, but the change is still scary. But if we don't have that change, we stick where we are. And if we have a look in this card, sticking where they are has actually made this guy wounded. I mean, if we have a look, the bandage around his head, he's bleeding. His arm there is bleeding that much. It's that weak that this staff that he's got for support, he can't even put the pressure on it, So there's often, like I say, sticking where things aren't good, sticking with something that isn't good. There's an element of self-sabotage that comes in with this card as well. And there's an element of focusing on your troubles a little bit. I mentioned the other day, a pity party. This is it. It's like, oh, why is this happening to me? My life is so bad, blah, 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 blah. But the thing is about moving forward in it, and what this card sort of says is there's a bit of a hanging on rather than looking for the spiritual guidance, because this stained glass window behind is a church, you know, and in traditional tarot, it's always a church as well. So it's like he's out in the cold here, and there's somebody there giving him comfort. Now, the person in traditional Rider-Waite is actually walking ahead of him. In here, there's somebody giving comfort here in a way, but this card, and I've heard other readers say this as well, that this card often signifies like a bit of a codependency, you know, and that's, you know, sometimes people like it when we are quite weak, because when we are quite weak, it serves their needs. Once we start to get stronger, the need for them diminishes, and the role that they play is no longer there. So they lose out on it. So sometimes, you know, people can sort of like the fact that you're wounded or lost, if that makes sense. So that seems to be what's coming in here. Like, yeah, I'll comfort you, but it's like, no, you know, I'll give you ways that you can move on. I mean, this is sort of like, I was talking about this yesterday in friendship, and you know, there's friends, I think that all of us have, who will say, yeah, poor you, you know, it's terrible and all of this, come on, have a drink, do whatever. And then there's the friends that will tell you the cold hard truth and just say, you know, you're doing this to yourself, or you need to do this. And sometimes that's not easy, but that is the sign of a good friend, you know, and somebody who truly cares for you will tell you the truth. They won't just attend your pity party with you to make you feel better, because it doesn't. A good friend will show you how to get out and, you know, how to move on. Because they want the best for you, you know. It's strange. I don't know if this is actually making sense, you know. But I know myself, I would rather have somebody there who tells me the cold hard truth rather than allows me to play victim, if that makes sense. You know, it's like, you're a victor, you're not a victim, you know, and that's what you need to do. So sometimes the best friend is the one who will give you a kick up the arse and tell you that you need to move forward. So like I say, this card, it's, you know, it's sort of forgetting the spiritual guidance. The spiritual guidance is there. Go after that, you know, because every crisis is an opportunity for change. This is why we have crises. This is why we have chaos that comes in, so that we are forced to change, because this card is a real transition card, you know. And like I say, I've mentioned before the dark night of the soul, and this is sort of like scraping the dregs of that as well, you know. It's sort of like a spiritual isolation, you know, which has left you wounded as well. Now, you know, often when we go on a spiritual path, it can be quite lonely, but that's only until we find our feet on it, you know, and then we find that we're never lonely because of the people that come in, but we're never lonely when we have spirit with us, you know. If you knew how many people were around you, probably now sitting in the same room as you, you would never feel lonely, you know, because spirit are always there, and they're always there to help us. So what this card is saying is there's a real change in attitude needed. Like I say, are you a victor or are you the victim? Because, you know, you can play either role and the choice is up to you. So this card is asking you to look at, what are you rejecting that could bring you solace, you know? You are looking for comfort here. You are needing comfort. You are needing to heal. But is there something you're rejecting that could actually bring you this solace and bring you this chance to heal as well? And this is what's interesting with the Chariot coming in as well. So we know with the Chariot that you're being pulled in two directions. And with this, the first thing that I got in when I pulled the two cards together was that there's this battle going on between your need for security and structure, and also against your desire for change and for freedom, you know. So this is where you are torn, and like I say, there's a little bit of a weakness coming in around it. With the Chariot, we know what the Chariot says is you take back control of the reins. You know, you take them back, take back your personal power and set off in pursuit of your goals. You know, I mean, do you want to stay there? You know, that is not a good place to be, the Five of Pentacles. What you want to do is get out and get to the Six of Pentacles, where the Six of Pentacles is all about sharing, you know, and actually give whatever you're giving out, you're getting back, you know. So like I say, it's only one step to that. So there's a real internal struggle at the moment, and possible external ones as well. I feel this could be, you know, like sort of stuff around you as well, not just within you. And there's these two different directions, you know, so there's a lot of doubt and a lot of uncertainty seem to be coming in as well. And this has just sort of brought you to a halt. It's like that Chariot is not moving anywhere. So what this card is saying is that you need to make a decision and then act on it, you know. Take hold of your reins, dig your heels in, and set off in the direction of your destiny, you know. It won't be an easy path. You know, nothing is, and any change takes time to adjust to it. But, you know, these bumps in the road will be worth it, because when this card comes in, it's like, please have unwavering faith in your convictions and don't stop and don't give up, because you know that it's going to be worth it, you know. Like I say, being in this place is not good. So you would do anything to get out of that, you know. So these cards are saying, like, you must be brave at this time. And yes, you're entering unknown territory, but remember, you are in control of it. Nobody controls you. Nobody does. You have free will, you know, and you have the strength as well. Even though it might be a little bit down at the moment, you have the strength. And this is about steering yourself in the direction of your choosing. And if you can keep your eye on that horizon and not detour back, and not allow doubt to sway you off course, you know, you will get to your desires and your destined destination, you know. If we have a look at this guy on here, his breastplate here is green, which is all about the heart chakra. And this is like, you know, let your heart guide you at the moment. You know, this is what you need to do. He has a lot of blue around him on here. This is his protection, you know. He is protected. And if we have a look, there's like a sun on his breastplate. Yeah, and this is like, you know, we mentioned yesterday how good the sun feels and how powerful the sun is. And this is saying that all of the universal forces are there to help you, you know. And like I say, seek out your friends that tell you the truth, you know, that have your best interests at heart, not theirs, you know. So like I say, this is a card about, you know, being determined to get out of this place. And once you have transcended your fears and you start transcending your restrictions, you know, until nothing can hold you back from having the life that you want, the life you deserve, and, you know, and having the success that is there for you. Like I say, one more move from the Five of Pentacles and we're at the Six, which is all about sharing and give and take. You know, it's a lovely place to be at. So this card is saying you really need to push yourself to victory, even if everything seems lost, you know. So like I say, strange cards there, but it's you know, nobody wants to stay in the bleakness, you know. It's like you are being offered this ticket out of there, and you're not looking at it. You're just sitting looking at your wounds. And you know, I was talking to somebody, and they were talking about somebody who was homeless, and they'd been homeless quite a while, and they got this opportunity, you know, of work and stuff like that, and it was an amazing opportunity for them, and they actually got that scared of doing it that they packed it in and they went back to live on the streets. And you know, that's it. But that was what they knew. It wasn't what they wanted, but that was what they knew, and they felt they knew that more. And I think there's a lot about within that was they were scared to push themselves further, and you know, that's really, really sad. But like I say, it's there, you know, you have the strength to do this. It's just having the determination to take hold of the reins and saying, right, okay, this is where I want to go. And if you want to go, you can get there as well. So you can move out of this this rut, you know. Like I say, there's a lot of changes going on for a lot of people in my life at the moment, and they're all very different changes. And you know, there's a lot of fear coming up with it. But then, you know, it's once we let fear take over, this is when all of the blocks go up. You know, it's sort of like this metal gate goes up, and you know, we stay locked in fear. So it's just pushing through that a little bit. You know, change is inevitable, and if it doesn't happen now, it will happen further down the line. So it's, you know, it's about you taking control of it now rather than the control being taken away from you. So I hope that made sense. Sorry, it wasn't a really nice one to end the weekend on. But I'm going to do the cards for the weekend later on because I'm busy all day, so I'll probably do them straight after this and get them posted. But please let me know if this resonated, and just remember, you've got the strength. You know, you really, really have. So if anybody would like a reading with me, please get in touch. The details are below for my Facebook and for my website. There's you just contact on there. There's a booking form on my website, and you can also pay via PayPal as well on there. But please follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, and like I say, I'm a little bit, you know, when you're just like, oh, sorry, you know, it's just. Like I say, the holistic healer last night, she was like, I can see where you're going. And I was like, yeah, so can I, you know. So that was good. Whereas I told you on Tuesday, I had this huge wobble and I couldn't see that at all. So it's just changing your direction, getting back in the driver's seat and putting your foot on the pedal and going forward. Okay, so I'll be back with the cards for the weekend. Have an absolutely fabulous day. Sat Nam.